I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I feel like I've needed to make this like last year and I never did. Maybe I did, I can't remember, I don't know. But I need to go over all the series that I'm in the middle of right now because I really need to hold myself accountable for this because it's getting out of hand. So I am a series starter. I love to start a good new series. So for this, we're gonna need my book journals. Here they are, 3 years worth. So I started keeping a book journal on this year. I didn't have one before that. So that's what we're starting with. We're gonna look at that one. I'm gonna open it up and show you where I'm at with that. I'll put that on the screen for you so you can kind of see it up close as I go over it in person. So starting with the first page, I did really well, finished all of these. Second page, finished all of them but one. The Crave series, I read 2 of those books and I just decided it wasn't for me and I wasn't gonna finish it. This, I finished these series. I need to finish the Harry Potter series. So I started this series 2 years ago. And to be completely honest, here it is right here. This is the book that I'm on. Like, look at this thing. Look at this thing and tell me it's not intimidating. But at the same time, I was gonna say, to be completely honest, I have been dragging this out as long as possible because this is my first time ever reading through the Harry Potter series. I never read it as a kid or a teenager. I know people don't understand how I do this. So I have people that ask me this all the time. They're just like, how the heck do you do that? I can't do that with series. So I like to literally spread out my books in a series. I don't like to read them back to back. I don't like to read them like if I read one in January, I don't want to read another one in February. I want to like skip a month. And I do that so that I can help my brain keep things really specific to each book individually instead of just grouping it all together as one big series. Where I found I used to be one of those people that read a series back to back to back, and I just found that I grouped it all together. I really couldn't distinguish which event happened in what book. It all kind of just meshed. So I didn't like that, and I really wanted to try to keep things separate. So I read books in series, and I take a while to do it because I like to spread them out. I'm a weird person. I haven't met anyone else that does this, so if you do this, let me know because I need to meet someone else that does this. Back to the series top. So Harry Potter is my main one that I have to finish this, and also Cursed Child by the end of this year, or I'm gonna be so annoyed at myself. And it is incredibly hard to finish series when you are on Bookstagram and Booktube, because especially if you're interacting with the community there, because you have people that are constantly telling you, hey, read this book, hey, read this book, hey, this book was amazing, hey, read this book. And your brain is just like pulled in so many directions that I can't just like focus in one place a lot of the time. I'm trying to get better at that. Let's keep looking at my book journal because there's one more in this really old one from 2 years ago that I started, and I'm actually in the middle of it. Actually, I didn't even grab the book. It's in my room because I was reading it in my room. But it's right here. It's the Addicted series. So I read these first 3 books already in the course of last year and the year before that. And loved them. Loved them. There was no reason like I shouldn't have continued faster. I'm just crazy and, like I said, get distracted. So read those. But then the author said you're actually supposed to switch to the Calloway Sisters series. So it's this one and Kiss the Sky, which is in the other room, like I said. So you're supposed to start with Kiss the Sky after these first 3, and it says it at the beginning of the books here, so it literally gives you like the reading order if you want to read it in the suggested order that the author has suggested. So anyway, I've started on Kiss the Sky now because I'm like, I literally need to make a dent in this, like I need to make progress, and then I have to read this one that I'm holding, Hot House Flower, and then we go back to Thrive, which is the Addicted series. I can't speak. So yeah, I need to make progress on this. I need to read at least 3. So I need to read Kiss the Sky, Hot House Flower, and Thrive to be happy with progress on this series because there is still so much to read after that. So that's it. That's all that I have in this this old journal. There's just 2 series left, but I have to make progress. Let's pick up the next journal. And one second. Okay, so my first page, I have the Inheritance Games right here. So I read the Inheritance Games, and I just never continued with this. Not because it's not good. It was really good. I literally flew through this. I wanted to know what was going to happen. It was so good. I loved the characters. Like, ugh, I'm annoyed at myself that I haven't read any more of these yet. However, I halfway want to reread the Inheritance Games because I feel like I flew through it. I feel like I read it at a time that I was just rushing to read it. I was rushing to read another book that month, and I didn't fully take in everything that I wanted to. So for this series, I may do a restart and just read them all the way through whenever I'm ready to do that. This is, I think I'll just list these in the order of like when I started them. So obviously I started Harry Potter first, then Addicted, then this one. So this is third on my list to read. I don't know that I'll reread it because I say like I want to do that, but in the future, like I really don't see myself doing that. I just see myself picking back up with this one. Maybe what I'll do is I'll reread a couple of like the end chapters to kind of refresh my memory on it. I don't know. Need to get to this one though, ASAP, because that's just ridiculous, and it's just annoying, honestly. Like, I annoy myself. Do you guys annoy yourself with reading, like when you do series and you just have a million of them open? I feel like I see a lot of people that are just like, I'm in the middle of 12 series, how did I get here? You know, like, it's probably because we're not keeping ourselves accountable enough, and we literally get distracted everywhere that we look. So doing my book journal like this and actually writing the series down has helped me tremendously on being able to keep myself more accountable and know what I'm reading and know where I'm at, and help me just remember, hey, you have to get back to this one. So the next one is Beartown on here, but however, side note, I am not sure I'm gonna go into this and finish it. So I know a lot of people love the series. I liked it a lot. I think it was very well done, very well written. I really liked the author a lot. However, it was one of those books that just gave me like, just, I don't want to say bad vibes, but for me as a person individually, I wasn't triggered, but I was just like, I just didn't feel good after I read it. You know what I mean? Like, I got like really sad, dark vibes from this book. And I have talked to other people and they have felt that way, but like, it's not like it really affected them. But for this series in particular, it did affect me, and it affected me for like a week or two, and I just didn't like how it made me feel. I just wasn't happy afterward. I couldn't really shake the feeling. I think it's a me problem. I don't think it's anybody else. So like, if you're interested in reading it, please go ahead and read it. Do check your trigger warnings, because there were some very heavy, deep topics that were covered in it, and I don't know what did it for me, but I just didn't come out of it how I wanted to come out of it. So I'm crossing that one out. I'm not going to continue with that, even though I really wanted to. Next, we have the Twilight series, which is here too. So I started out with Twilight, obviously, and do not judge these tabs, because I have had so many people judging my tabs. They're huge. They're enormous. I know that. I know that. I could fan myself with them. I did kind of mess up with these tabs. Like, my friend was joking that I should just like cut them because they're so long. I'm not gonna do that. I think it's honestly funny, and it's honestly cool to see that I came from this to literally this. So this was one of the ones I recently did, and like, compare that, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna keep them. But anyway, I started with this, and I fully intended to continue reading them. I even like decorated the front. Like, I made this little pulley thing, and you can check out the video for that, because there is a whole video on it, and I have to lay this like flat in order to do the little pulley. So here, look. He literally sparkles. His skin sparkles. Like, I'm obsessed. Okay. So anyway, read this. Loved it. Like, it was amazing. It was like the first time reading it all over again, but also so sentimental about it that it was incredible. I loved it so much. I would love to read New Moon this year. I would love to. Honestly, I've said to myself, like, you might as well just start the series over at this point. You might as well. Needless to say, I am not going to reread this one because it's so thick, and I know myself, and I'm going to say that I'm going to do it, and then I'm not going to do it, and it's going to literally deter me from even continuing with the series. So I'm going to read New Moon hopefully this year. If I don't, I don't, but that's my goal. So next one on the list, Once Upon a Broken Heart series. A Curse for True Love wasn't out whenever I started this series, but I read The Ballad of Never After. Unpopular opinion, I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart. Really liked it. Vibed with it. Ballad of Never After happened, and I was just like, what did I read? Like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. It's not on the top of my list to continue. Maybe I'll listen on audiobook to A Curse for True Love, but it's one of those books that I just don't really care to know what even happens. Like, I could totally leave it where it's at and just never really think about it again. So I'm sorry if you loved it. I know so many people love this series, and I love that for you. I do. But it's just one of those books that just wasn't for me, unfortunately. The Crank series, I read the first one, didn't love it, didn't vibe with it, didn't like the feeling it gave me, not going to continue. Magnolia Parks, I actually have to check off Daisy Hates. I didn't actually do that, but I did read Daisy Hates recently, so I have continued with that series. The next one in the series is A Long Way Home, right here. And I had this in my hand to start last month, didn't start it. So I hopefully will start it soon, because I'm actually really, really excited to continue with this series after reading Daisy Hates. Like, Magnolia Parks was good. I enjoyed it well enough, but Daisy Hates was like another level. Oh my gosh. And I know some people love, love, love Magnolia, and they don't really feel the way I do about Daisy, but I'm obsessed with Daisy. Like, Daisy is my girl. Christian is my dude. Like, they are my characters. Oh my gosh. And Daisy's brother Julian, like, gosh, just everything about that book was pure perfection. And that is one of those books that's like a 6-star book for me. Like, that is one of my all-time favorite books. I do see myself reading this before the end of the year, but also life happens, books happen, and I really don't know what's going to happen with that. Since I did read Daisy this year already, I don't know. That'll continue. Also, the thing about all these series is, like, look at the size of this book. Like, the size. Like, let me get you a page. It's over 500 pages, and the words are, just look at this. So tiny. So tiny. I do read these kind of fast because they're so good, but it's intimidating. The series that I'm in the middle of, a lot of them, like Harry Potter, Twilight, this one, even this one, Kiss the Sky, is over 500 pages. Like, they're all huge.
I always call it massive. Sometimes they say huge.
They're very thick. So they're very intimidating. Like, once you've read one, you're just like, I have to read another one of these bricks. Next on the list, the Brutal Birthright series. I knew I was going to butcher that. Brutal Birthright. Why do I have such a hard time saying that? I don't know. There's 6 total in this, and they can all be read as standalones. So I actually got Bloody Heart, which was the 4th one, as an arc. I had never read Sophie Lark. I know, horrible. But I had never read her, and I saw the cover, and the cover just really called to me. I read the blurb, I really liked it, and I read the book, and I really, really liked it. I heard from another reader that there is also another series after this one that kind of follows up this series, which I love when series do that. They just continue. And you have a whole nother branch of another series from the same universe. Love it. So I really want to start with Brutal Prince and then read all the way through, skipping Bloody Heart, because like I already totally remember everything that happened in that. And that's definitely one of my goals, to do that at some point soon. But I don't have it, so that's why it's not like at the top of my list, even though her writing is so good and the characters were just had my heart, and I really loved it. I really did. So I definitely see myself reading the whole series at some point. I just don't know when it will be. Maybe when I buy the books. Like, am I gonna buy the books? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. The last one in this journal is the Boys of Tomen series. I hope I'm saying that right. Tomen, I don't know. But it's the Binding 13 series pretty much. And I read the first one. I actually magically got it as an ARC. I don't know how. I don't know. Because they were like re-releasing the new covers, and I applied and they accepted me, and it blew my mind. So I read Binding 13 because of that. I really liked it. I did. But personally, I felt it was way too much inner monologue, and it was a bit too thick. It didn't need to be so thick. Like, it almost just felt like the author was just trying to fill the pages with inner monologue. If we would have cut some of that inner monologue, I think it would have been a lot better. I still really like the series. I like the characters, I like the story, I like the world we're in, and I can definitely see myself continuing with it. So that's on my list too. But again, this is one of those that I don't own them. So I may audiobook them, and we'll see if when I get to them. But just one of those ones that's maybe not on the top of my list because I don't own them, but I still really am going to definitely continue with the series. My final reading journal is this year's reading journal that hopefully I don't have that many series in yet. I know I don't actually. So, okay, so the first one here is the Murder Blog Mysteries. I read Dead Girls Don't Blog at the very, very beginning of this year. I was actually reading it in December, and then I finished it in January, and it was amazingly good. Blew my mind with how good it was, honestly. So luckily enough, at the library book sale, I found the whole entire rest of the series because I only had this book to begin with. I didn't even actually know it was a series, and then I found all of these, and I was so excited. Oh my gosh. So I'm definitely going to be reading the second one, which is this one, Better Dead Than Wed, this year for sure. I'm definitely see myself continuing with it. I don't know that I'll read more than the second one, but we'll see. We'll see. But that's just another amazing series I'm now in the middle of. And I own them all, which is amazing. Another one I'm in the middle of is Anne of Green Gables. So I've read the first 3. There are 10, so this is going to take me a while. I am audiobooking them. I don't own them. I'm loving the audiobooks, honestly. It's great. I think as a kid, I read the first one. Then I just found out they had a prequel, which is Before Green Gables, and that was so good. Oh my gosh. If you're an Anne of Green Gables fan, like, you need to read that. You need to, because it gives you Anne's full backstory, like from birth, of everything that happens to her, and I absolutely adored it. It was so good. So I'm going to be continuing with that. That's kind of just one of those series that I audiobook whenever I'm working or whatever, and it's just kind of an in-betweener, like, feel-good book. So definitely going to be continuing with that. Then we have Crazy Rich Asians. So I read, this one was my Wrapped TBR pick of January. So I read this in January. It was so good. Oh my gosh. I am actually in the middle of China Rich Girlfriend on audiobook right now because I only own this first one. So I'll probably audiobook the next 2. There are 3 total, and I will definitely see myself finishing this series by the end of the year, just because I'm already halfway through the second one, and I can't just leave it unfinished on 2, right? I just can't do that. So that one back. And then I have the Bromance Book Club. So I audiobooked the first one. I don't own these, but I heard really good things from actually Destiny Sitwell, and she's another booktuber on here. I'm sure you've heard of her. And I really liked the first one. It was good. It was like a fluffy in-betweener book. That's what I call them. So like in between reading a lot of thrillers or fantasy or whatever, something like of a heavier type book, to just throw that in the middle to break up your reading was really good. So I did audiobook that, and I'm going to definitely audiobook the rest of the series. I don't see myself finishing this year. I may just get to the second one at some point. It's also not like the top of my list because it wasn't like a series that it left off anywhere that I was like dying to read the second one, you know, but I am interested in it, and I definitely will continue with it. So the last one is One of Us is Lying. This was my Wrapped TBR pick of March, and I read it, and it was great, and there are 3 total. I definitely see myself reading the next one, which is One of Us is Next, this year. I don't know that I'll read all 3 of them this year. We'll kind of just see if the second one is as good as this one was. I probably will read the third one, because as it is right now, I am left in a place that I really am really excited to read the second one. So I feel like this is going to be kind of towards the top of my list, even though it's like literally the last series that I started. But that's all the series I'm in the middle of. So I'll put the total count for you on screen. I don't even know how many that was. But that's all the series I'm in the middle of. And I am telling myself that I'm actually not allowed to start anymore. Unless, the only unless is, I happen to have another series in my Wrapped books, which I think there's one more. I think it's this series, The Twisted Love, because I remember the blue one being in there. So I think that's the only series I have in there, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure. I can't really fully remember what I put in there, to be honest with you. So that's something that I'm going to start a new series. Everyone's trying to get me to start ACOTAR. I'm not starting that until I have knocked some of these other ones off my list. Like, my thing for ACOTAR was I'm literally not allowed to start ACOTAR until I finish Harry Potter. because that's like my big fantasy series. Obviously I have Twilight in there too, but I've already read Twilight, so it's a little different. But yeah, I'm definitely not allowed to start October till I finish Harry Potter. So this one, I think I gave myself the original goal of reading it in June, but I might end up pushing it to July depending on how many books I finish off this month. But it is on the top of my list to finish this, and I have been kind of gearing up for it because I know it's gonna be sad. Like, I know there's gonna be things in here that I'm not happy about, but it's gonna be the final book. Obviously there's Cursed Child, but it's not the same. No, it doesn't. I know it doesn't follow the same storyline. It's like they're kids, so yeah. I'm already like about to cry thinking about it, honestly. Like, I know I'm gonna cry. I know I'm gonna be sad about this because I'm so attached to these characters. But when some of the other characters died in the series, that I'm not gonna say because I don't want to do any spoilers, but my heart, guys, like, I wasn't the same after the book before this, the book before that, I don't know. It was the past couple books though, like some stuff really happened and I was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, need to finish this ASAP. But that's it. That's all the series I'm in the middle of. So I'm glad we went over this. I hope it was enjoyable for you. I feel like it was an enjoyable video for me to make, and it's just a good video to have on my page so I can even look back on it and be like, hey, I need to finish some of these. Maybe I'll give you like an updated video if you happen to like this video at the end of the year and just kind of update you on the series I made progress in and where I'm at now and all that type of stuff. So if you want to see more content from me, I post all the time on my Instagram, and I would love to see you over there because I love talking to all of you over there and seeing your pictures and all of that fun stuff. Do not be afraid to reach out. I am very friendly and I love talking to everyone. I also post a weekly video here every single Friday, so make sure you look out for that. And please like this video, subscribe, and put your notification bell on because it really helps me out. That's it. That's all I gotta say, and I'll see you on another video very, very soon. Bye.